Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome to my channel. It's great to have you here. As ever, I'm going to tell you about the best ways to make the most from your money. So today, this roundup is about the best bank accounts, current accounts for your money in December 2020. And there have been quite a few changes over the last few weeks, particularly around bank switching, which you need to know about, but also around some of the other benefits which came with other accounts I've mentioned in the past. So let's get into it. Let's talk about bank switching to start off. There have been a huge cull of all those bank switching offers, which started back in August of this year. August, September, we saw loads of new offers. Halifax, NatWest, HSBC, there were more of them as well. They are all now finished. They all went in November. There is in fact only one proper bank switching offer around now, and it is a new one since the last time I told you about this stuff. This is the Virgin Money current account. I've mentioned it quite a lot before as one to keep an eye out for because they had some interesting features to it which could make you a little bit of money, and I'll talk about those in a second. But it didn't have a bank switching offer. So personally, I've been holding off, waiting for their one to come along. Couldn't guarantee there ever would be one, but I thought there's a good chance because essentially what's been happening is Virgin Money has been merged with Yorkshire Bank and Clydesdale Bank. It's all under the Virgin Money brand. It's been going on for over a year now, but they're really kind of pushing on it now. So my kind of expectation was they would introduce something at some point to try and get people to join them, and they have. Just a few weeks ago, they introduced this new switching offer, and it's worth, according to Virgin Money, £180. Now that would put it at the top end of the offers we've seen this year. Probably one of the highest paying offers ever. But there is a catch, because it isn't in cash, it's in wine. What Virgin Money are doing with this offer and others which come with the account, or ones which they say are coming later on, is they're trying to basically bring together all those Virgin brands. So the wine comes as part of Virgin Wine. There's also a discount you can get, and I'll mention it later, with Virgin Media, and I'm sure we'll see things with Virgin Gyms and Virgin Atlantic at later dates. But anyway, the switching offer, you get 15 bottles of Virgin Wine, which they claim are worth £180. There is a non-alcoholic version, so you get 15 bottles of non-alcoholic wine. That's valued at about 80 quid. But if you don't even fancy that, if you're a non-drinker and you don't even want the non-alcoholic wine, unfortunately there is nothing for you. So that's had a few bit of in my Be Clever With Your Cash and Cash Chats community on Facebook, a few people have been a bit sort of put out by that because they don't drink at all, which means there's not really any point in them taking part of this switching offer. But if you do drink, and you would generally buy wine anyway, then this actually isn't too bad, particularly, as I say, because there are no other switching offers around right now, no significant ones anyway. So what you get, so £180 of wine. I've had a look at it. I think actually you want to put the value of it around £100. A few reasons for that. If you would go to the supermarket and buy, let's say, a decent bottle of wine, £9–10 is probably kind of, for most people are happy to pay around £5–6 quid, but let's say they're pushing it out and they're buying ones at £9–10. But there are often these offers, a third off, buy 6, save 25%. You see this all the time. If you time your purchases for that, really, you could get an equivalent of red, white and Prosecco, because there's a mix in this bundle. You don't get to choose your wines, it's a preset mix. You could get that for around 100 quid, more or less, throwing a few bits and pieces. So let's say it's worth 100 rather than 180. That's still not bad. That's still comparable with many of the other bank switching offers. To get this, you obviously have to open up a Virgin Money account, and that's really easy to do. You can do it online. It doesn't have, at the moment, a huge sort of ability to do this in branch. That is going to, as the more of this sort of, I say, this rebranding goes along and different branches merge, you will be able to get full access to the account in all the different branches and open accounts. But right now it's mainly online. Open it up. A few things you have to do to get this bonus. You have to transfer over 2 direct debits and keep them active in the account until you've got your free wine, which can take around a month after the switch to happen. You have to put £1,000 into a linked saver for that same amount of time. Now that linked saver is paying 0.5%, which isn't amazing, but actually it's a lot better than most easy access accounts out there right now. So you may as well go ahead, if you've got that cash, put it in there. And obviously that could be a problem if you don't have £1,000 to sit in a savings account for potentially, again, this is like, maybe you're just looking at switch for a week and then another sort of month in order for you to get the voucher to claim the wine and get the wine. Maybe so we're looking at sort of maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks. You've obviously got to have £1,000 that can stay in that account for that time, which could be a problem for some people. And the only other thing you need to do is then to download and use the Virgin Money app. This account is kind of designed to kind of compete a little bit with sort of Starling and Monzo. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to open my account very shortly so I can feedback later on how good it is. But you need to use that as well. Do those 3 things: 2 direct debits, £1,000 in the linked savings accounts, and open and download the app. then you'll get your free wine. Now, the only other switching bonus to let you know about of note for this month is with Metro Bank. They will give you 50 quid if you switch to them. You also have to pay in £500 a month for a couple of months, and you have to do 10 transactions on the Metro debit card. Now, this isn't open to everyone. You need to get a referral link from an existing Metro customer. So ask your mate, see if anyone's got one, because they'll get 50 quid as well. It's limited to how many people you can refer. I think it's 5 people you can at least as personally refer and get the money for, but I think other people can use the code. I have got a link that you can use below if you want to give it a go. That one ends in the middle of December, so you haven't got long to take advantage of that offer. But that's pretty much it. Now, people who want to think about switching right now are TSB Classic Plus customers, because at the start of December, the interest rate that you get on that account, currently 1.5% on $1.5 in that account, drops to zero. That basically makes that account completely pointless, completely worthless. So if you've got that account, you want to be switching it. And if you want to get a bonus, they're two of the best ones to go for. Now, if you want to get the best interest rates, the top one is actually the one I mentioned just now, Virgin Money. So if you switch that account, or if you don't want to switch, you just want to open it up as a separate account, if you're not bothered about the wine, you can open it anyway. You get 2.02% for a year, and it's variable, so it could change on £1,000 that is saved in there. So that's not quite the same as what you'd get with that TSB, but not too bad. If you haven't taken the nationwide FlexDirect account out yet, though, there's no switching bonus for this. There's no referral bonus for this right now. But if you want to make sure you're getting the highest interest, that is still the best bet. It is 2% fixed for a year on $1.5 grand. Now, interest rates, I talk about this a lot in my roundup of the best savings accounts. The next one will be in the middle of the month. Rates have been dropping everywhere. So that 2% fix could be quite attractive, because you never know, they might withdraw that as well. You don't know if they'll do that, but the fact that everything has dropped so much, there's a chance they will. But it's not a huge amount, 2%. I've got a whole review that I did over on the blog, and also there's a video on the YouTube channel looking at a nationwide FlexDirect account. Is it still the best account out there for you? Do check that out if you're interested. It's definitely a big one for ethical bankers if you want to make sure your money that's sitting in the account isn't being used for things like tobacco or oil or even arms trade. Yeah, the money in your account is used to fund things. That's worth bearing in mind. It still scores really well in terms of how ethical an account is, but the rewards you get, such as interest, such as the lack of the referral bonus, might make it less appealing. So do check that out if you're interested. The other thing to tell you about in terms of savings rates linked to bank accounts is if you've got a FlexDirect or an HSBC or an M&S bank account, and you got that to get the linked 2.75% regular savers, if you've already got that regular saver, you're fine, because it's locked for 12 months from when you opened it. If you're thinking of opening up one, sadly the rate is now down to 1%, which also means there's no reason really to move to those banks right now unless a switching bonus comes in, because you're not really going to get anything in return. If you've already got that account and you've got an open regular saver, don't switch away, because you will lose that interest that you're earning. So you want to keep that account open and that regular saver account open until that finishes 12 months from whenever you opened it, and then you're free to switch away. But don't do that beforehand. In terms of the best cashback current accounts, the ones that give you money back on your bills, there's still only one account from Santander. Well, actually, there's two accounts from Santander, the 123 and the 123 Lite, and the 123 Lite is still your best bet. So if you want to earn money on your broadband, your council tax, your water, whatever it is, those main core bills, that's worth having one of those accounts and having your bills come out of that and getting some money every single month. Not huge amounts, but it's better than nothing, and it's money you're paying anyway. So you have it sitting there just as a bills account. In terms of reward accounts, again, nothing's really changed here this month. My top ones are the Halifax Rewards and the Club Lloyd's Rewards. Again, so I've got more information about both of those, so you can look at that if you want to. One thing I will say about the Club Lloyd's account, which has slightly made it a little bit more appealing this month, although again, there's no switching bonus, so probably I would hold off. But if you've got one of these accounts and you've not been using it for interest, and you've got some cash, you might be worth looking at it, because it pays you 0.6% on the first $4,000 you've got saved in there, and then 1.5% on the next grand. So you don't get any interest over $5,000, but on that $5,000, if you've got $5,000, it works out something like 0.8%, something like that. If you've got $4,000 and less, and then it's 0.6%. Pretty poor rates, but the best easy access accounts right now have dropped to 0.6%. So all of a sudden, that's not a bad place to stash your spare cash. Okay, you're not going to get much better elsewhere, particularly if you've already taken up that FlexDirect and that Virgin Money accounts. So I'm going to do that. I've not been using it for interest, but that TSB accounts that I've got, that money is going to go into my Club Lloyd's account. Don't forget, you do need 2 direct debits to come out of your account every month to get that interest. and there's a monthly fee of £3, but you can avoid that if you pay 1,500 quid in, and obviously you'll get your freebies that come with that. Your cinema tickets, a bit pointless right now. Movie rentals, which are a bit and ah right now because we haven't had the new releases coming out, or a free magazine subscription, which is what I go for. It might not be worth the most, but it's probably the one that I only get the most use of right now. That obviously could change as months come along, but right now that's where I'd be with that. Now, ethical banks, I mentioned Nationwide. That's still probably the best out of all the big guys out there, the best one to go for. But Starling doesn't score too badly. Co-op doesn't score too badly. So if you want to make sure your money is going to a good place, I would look at one of those three and avoid the others. And that's not just for your day-to-day banking, but think about it broad as well for things like your savings. Really important one is overdrafts. Don't forget, if you're in the red right now, you are going to be charged 40% by most banks. That is a lot of money. One of the most expensive ways to borrow money right now. The places to go, Nationwide, FlexDirect, which I mentioned before. If you haven't had that account before and you open it up, they'll give you a 0% interest for a year. So that could be a really good chance for you to pay off that debt and clear it away without interest being added on. The other banks that give you a small buffer, FirstDirect and Marks and Spencer's Bank, they would give you a £250 0% buffer. So if you only go overdrawn a little bit every now and again, that can be quite handy to make sure you don't get charged any of those extras. But again, there's bigger things to think about if you are overdrawn a lot. You really want to think about how you can clear that. And I have got more information about how you can do that. So I'll link to that so you can check it all out. Now finally, if you're not bothered about any of those extra freebies, money back, cash back, overdraft, things like that, or you're just looking for one which is going to be the best for sort of day-to-day banking, an easy one to use, one to help you budget, then the two that I would recommend are Starling and Monzo. Monzo probably has a slight edge in terms of the usability of the app, but I prefer Starling, I think, as my pick for a few reasons. Number one, it's not only on the mobile app right now, you've also got a desktop function, so that makes it a lot easier for many people to access their cash and understand what's going on in there. It is fee-free overseas, as Monzo is, but it doesn't have a cap on cash withdrawals, so that makes it, that gives it the edge over Monzo there. And also, it scores very well ethically. So I think if you're looking for an extra account or one just for your day-to-day spending, keep the others for your savings, keep your others for your cashback, whatever they might be, then I would look at Starling Bank. That's it for this time. I'll be back with another video very soon. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell. And if this is going to save you money, please, please, please hit that like button and leave me a comment. It really helps the channel grow, helps other people find the videos, things I'm talking about, and helps me help them with their money as well. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.